Hi, Ben Carpenter here. I'm going to talk to you very quickly about cult mentalities in the fitness industry. So, if you look at particular diet or training methodologies, you'll find kind of a subsection of individuals who are absolute die-hard fans. So, some kind of common examples: the arguments you get between flexible dieters versus clean eaters, things like paleo diets, low carb diets, intermittent fasting, carb backloading, CrossFit training, whatever it is, you will find people who would argue to the death, which is only a small exaggeration, which is kind of worrying, about why their particular diet is absolutely best. Now, the problem with this is that if someone marries themselves or aligns themselves too closely with one particular methodology, they become blind to the merits of other methods. So, as an example, I always say it's better to point the finger at yourself prior to pointing it at other people. And this is something that I've been guilty of. So, a few years ago, many years ago, probably 8 years or so now, I remember I used to be a very heavy, low carb diet advocate, very kind of dogmatically so. And I remember getting into a debate with someone about why I thought low carb diets were better. They preferred a higher carb diet than the one I was doing. And I remember getting into a debate about it. And in hindsight, I was debating this very emotionally. I was debating it because I had aligned myself with this. And I was being too narrow-minded to hear the benefits of other diets. And this is one of the things that you will find in the fitness industry, especially on social media. You'll have two people with conflicting methodologies. You would believe that they were arguing over their firstborn child because they get so kind of hostile about it. And rather than actually being able to discuss the pros and cons of each, they're simply arguing the pros of both of their individual diet methodologies and just arguing against each other. So the thing with this is that let's say low carb diets, for example. What you get are low carb groups that are always quoting the same pieces of research, always looking at the same researchers, always sharing articles from the same websites. And what you get is this kind of circle jerk, pardon the crude simile, this circle jerk of people that are only quoting each other, rather than actually listening to the merits from researchers that might propose conflicting opinions. So the thing with this is it's a massive disservice to your clients, and I did a massive disservice to my clients by aligning myself this heavily with one particular diet. Because let's be honest, if you have 5 different diets and you're listening to someone who is absolutely 100% adamant that what they're doing is best, how does this benefit you? You would much prefer to listen to someone that can discuss the merits of each, discuss the drawbacks and the limitations of each, and someone that can actually present an objective opinion on each one, rather than just trying to convince you that what they're doing is best. And unfortunately, I don't like using this comparison a lot, but I think people kind of understand it. It almost becomes like their particular approach is like a religion to them. The idea of looking at something else and saying this actually might be better is very, very daunting, and something that most people would prefer to refuse. So basically what I'm saying is that most people are only ever trying to find research or reasoning to justify what they're doing. And this is the wrong way of doing it. The best thing that you can do is try and look at all available research. Don't look for articles or authors or research or whatever it is that only supports your view. Because if you can only argue the pros on your particular topic, you don't know the topic well enough. You need to be able to understand the limitations. You need to understand the populations it might not work well for. You need to understand limitations in the research or things that haven't been studied yet, rather than being absolutely adamant that your way is the best way. So what I'm saying is, if you only know the pros of what you're doing and you can't discuss the limitations, you aren't doing this objectively and you don't know the research well enough. If someone comes to you with conflicting opinions, you need to be able to discuss the merits of both objectively rather than subjectively. If you marry yourself to one particular thing, you will become blinded and you will start fighting for that, irrespective of the strengths of other arguments. So what I'm saying is be objective, try and look at the strengths of everything. Don't get too heavily aligned with one particular approach, and don't be that person that argues blindly because you're so focused on what you're doing. Instead of trying to prove that what you're doing is best, try and disprove it. Try and find reasons why it might not be best, and you will find that you become a much better researcher, much better in terms of critical thinking, and this will be much better for your clients or anyone else that you're helping. So that's it. I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. My Facebook page is facebook.com/Ben Carpenter Personal Training. My Twitter and Instagram pages are both BDT Carpenter. And thanks for watching.